What is up, YouTube? Lux here. Today we're doing kind of a part 2 of my first video. I'm just feeling like there's no hope, like there's just no reason to even try anymore. And I get where people are coming from with that. I do. Now, for the most part try to give people chances in my business, and I try to help them along and train them, but a lot of these people just don't have work ethic, and I get some people just don't want to slave away and just make nothing, but I'm paying pretty darn good wages for an apprentice. They may not make as much as a journeyman, but as a journeyman they make upwards of 50-60 bucks an hour. If you're a union and stuff, you can go far with that. But then again, also the fact is union jobs are harder to get into. Now, it's very tricky with how people approach this type of stuff. If you don't go union and you're just playing the game and you just go to tech school or whatever, and you're trying to find a trade job. I was looking at some of these welding jobs in my area. They're at least starting to up their pay now, which is good. Before they were only paying 15 to 18 tops. I mean, how can anyone afford to live even off 18 bucks an hour? Like, you need two people making 18 bucks an hour working hella overtime to be able to even live a decent life. Not even a decent life, just a substandard life. Now, I feel like I was looking today, and now it looks like they jumped it from 18 to 21, which really ain't that much better. I mean, 21 still ain't nothing in this economy. I feel like it has to be, if you're a skilled tradesman, or just, like a welder or a TIG welder. MIG welding is one thing. I don't know if you guys know anything about welding, but MIG welding is probably one of the easier ones. If you're doing like pipe welding with TIG or stick, or even MIG with pipe welding, you should be making 40-50 bucks an hour, in my opinion. Now, if you're just doing structural, I feel like the minimum you should be making, no matter what, is 25. But some companies don't even top out at that, and they expect you to bust your ass all day long. Short lunch breaks. You'll get fired if these production environments are freaking brutal. I've worked in them before, and they are just garbage. And it's not for everyone. Some people, I get they have a business to run and they want to make it run smoothly, but some of these people, they are greedy, hungry CEOs, and they don't care about you as a person. They just want their bottom profit dollar, and they don't really care about anything else. So it's a little frustrating, but I think trades are still the way to go. With the way the world is going right now, a lot of college degrees are useless, and it's just they're oversaturated. Like the business degree, they're very oversaturated. Even computer analyst, programming, everyone wants to get into a cushy office job, and everyone wants to do something that for a lot of money that doesn't require a lot of work. It usually doesn't work that way, and we've been lucky in this day and age to be able to even have that opportunity. But since the beginning of time, people have had to just work their butt off just to be able to eat food. And I guess now with what's going on, times are just going to get even harder, and people might have to resort back to doing that. They might have to just bust their balls every single day just to make ends meet, to be able to feed their family. Do I think that's right? No, I think it's totally messed up. But I just feel like that's what's coming. And when you have such an economic downturn, and you have such a disparity between the rich and poor, crime's gonna go up. People are gonna be pissed. And for these retirees to work their whole life, and then all of a sudden the stock market tanks and they can't retire, and they already, what are they supposed to do? I guess they could be a Walmart greeter, but come on. Like, if the stock market tanks and your cash is worth nothing, what are you supposed to do? You maybe have a little pension to rely on. Pensions aren't even really a thing anymore, unless you find some golden needle in a haystack company. but or the federal system. That's another good system, but then again, that's super hard to get into too, unless you are a tradesman or a nurse. But you know, tradesmen, you know, they oftentimes get a bad rap. People think they're just dirty, low. I don't know, low scum of the earth. I've got looks like that when I wear my construction shirt into, I don't know, get a haircut or go out for dinner or something. You know, people give me this look like, oh, he's just a construction worker. I even overheard some lady tell her son when I don't know, this was a call I had for a bathroom in a public area in a mall. And she's like, well, make sure you go to school because you don't want to end up like that plumber over there. And I was like, damn, that kind of hurt. But, I mean, I just think the stigma around the trades needs to end. Like, I can't believe she actually told her son, like, hey, that guy's just a bum. You know, it doesn't even matter what I'm making or what I'm doing. I mean, it's a necessary job. Does she want to do it? I mean, probably not. Someone's got to do it, and they got to pay for it. I mean, you ain't doing stuff for free. So that was kind of disheartening to hear that just how a lot of people look down on trades people. But the tradesmen and women in the field, I think, for soon enough will be highly sought after, and one of the only jobs I feel like in the job sector that will be safe. However, if nobody has any money to pay for anything, I mean, they're just going to try to DIY stuff. You know, a lot of these plumbing businesses that focus primarily on residential, they don't have much work because a lot of customers, if they need to install a faucet or unclog a toilet, they'll go on YouTube and figure it out. You know, it really ain't that hard if you just know what you're doing, and if as a homeowner, you don't need a license. So, just with wages in general, I know I'm just kind of ranting here, and this is something new I'm trying on YouTube, but I just hope I can reach some people and understand that there is hope, but it is looking pretty bleak at the same time, and to understand reality, and to understand that, you know, stuff is getting pretty scary out there. You know, between Iran, you know, and Hamas and Israel, and it just seems like the whole world is so unstable nowadays. I haven't been alive that long, but through 2008 recession, I was still in, I think, middle school or whatever, but I saw my parents struggle, and my dad was a tradesman. Luckily, he stayed employed. My mom's in the nursing field, so luckily she was good, but times were rough back then, and I think this go around it's going to be even worse. You know, these busy cities. I don't know how people can even live in New York City or Chicago. I live in Chicago, so I guess I can't say much. But you know, these rents, like the property taxes I pay here, are absolutely insane. Like 12, 13 grand a year, and that's just property taxes. That includes sales tax, you know, city tax, whatever. And then gas prices, you know, it's getting rough out there, and it's never been a better time to advance your skills and learn something new, because even with AI, like so many of these basic jobs that, you know, some people, you know, thought they had a cushy gravy job, eventually the corporation will find a way to replace you just because that's the way it is. It's greed or whatever, but it sucks. It's just not looking good for the times ahead. But I hope everyone can try to remain positive. It's super hard to remain positive when, you know, you can barely even feed your family, and you got, you know, bills up the ass, you got debt. That's why I'm a big advocate for getting out of debt as quickly as possible, but that's not always realistic for everyone. So, yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys want to talk about in these videos. If you have any questions or topics you'd like to ask me. It's just, I guess, a good telling sign that the trades, not the trades, but the markets and the economies doing poorly is seeing less people out at restaurants. I mean, in my opinion, there's less people buying houses. My buddy's a realtor, and less people are buying houses. Commercial real estate's still booming. I mean, they're building all these huge luxury apartments, but for who? I mean, the rent starting for a studio and it's like 1850. 1850 for a studio. Who the hell can afford that? And then, I mean, it goes up to a 3 bedroom. I think it was saying like 3650. I mean, that is just insane. And buying a house, isn't all it's cracked up to be either, because then you have property taxes. You have, what happens if your roof fails? I mean, you gotta pay that. That's 20 grand right there. Sump pump goes. Your HVAC goes. I don't know. There's so many home expenses that people don't think about when you're buying a home. So you either better be handy or you better have a good chunk of change ready to dish out for the contractor who's going to do the work on your house, because I don't know. I really don't know what to say about the whole situation, but it's looking pretty weird out there. And ever since COVID, I feel like everything's just gone downhill slowly. But let me know your thoughts. I don't even know if anyone will watch this, but thank you for watching. Have a great day.